Okay, it is almost the end of January, so I wanted to share everything that I loved and hated throughout the month of January. Normally, when it comes to these videos, I have like a lot more favorites than fails, but this month it was kind of split evenly because I did try out a lot of products that didn't end up working for me. So I'll share the good and the bad with you in today's video. A lot of newer drugstore launches, and then a couple of products that aren't necessarily new releases, but I've been using them this month and last month, really, because I didn't do a December favorites and fails. So this is kind of like the last 2 months of products that I've been using, and I wanted to share some updates and reviews. So I hope you are doing well. January felt like a really long month. Like normally the months fly by. I can't believe it's the end. I can believe it's the end of January because this month has been going by so slowly. I think part of the reason too is because it is so cold. It's like 0 degrees Fahrenheit with the wind chill. Where I live, I really thought we were going to have like a mild winter because November and December were pretty nice, but I knew the winter weather had to be coming. So anyway, I hope that you are having a good start to your year so far and that January has been going really well for you. Let's jump into it and I'll show you what I've been loving and hating. What should we start with? Let's just kind of like jump back and forth. So over Black Friday, I ordered a few products from Give by Gwen Stefani. The website was 50% off, so I thought it was a really good chance to try out multiple products from the brand. I picked up a few different things. I'm still in the process of testing a few of them out, but my favorite by far is the highlighter. It's called the Check My Glow Multidimensional Illuminating Highlighter, and I have the shade Platinum Cowgirl. First of all, I love the packaging. I just think it's really cute. This is a really beautiful highlighter. It's different than I expected. I think I thought it was going to be a lot more intense than it actually is, but on the skin, it's definitely more subtle. You can build it up. If you really layer it up, you can get more of like an intense glow, but typically I'll just use like a little bit of a fluffier brush to create something really soft and beautiful. And I love that there are different shades in here. Normally when it comes to cheek products, that kind of throws me off, but the fact that they have like pink tones, golden tones, and then almost like pearly white tones in here is perfect because when you mix them together, you get the most beautiful color. It's like a little bit pink, a little bit gold, but very soft, very bright. So it works really well for my skin tone. And if you are looking for a highlighter that again kind of has like a hint of pinkiness to it, but you don't want something too pink or too bronzy, this is absolutely perfect. I would say it has a little bit more of a dry texture. Like it reminds me more so of like an hourglass powder compared to like the Rare Beauty highlighters. Those give your skin like a very beautiful glass-like finish, whereas this one feels a little bit more dry. So it's definitely not like the creamiest texture I've ever felt, but it is very lightweight and just soft and natural on the skin. It kind of reminds me of Essence Pure Nude. Like the way that one applies and looks on the skin is very similar to this, but this one is more dimensional because there is like 3 different tones within this highlighter. So I'm really enjoying it. It's a lot more interesting than I thought it was going to be, and also more subtle, which I really appreciate. The other cheek product that I have been loving this month is from Rare Beauty. This is, no, not Rare Beauty. These are from e.l.f. I think they're a really good dupe or alternative to the Rare Beauty liquid blushes. These are the e.l.f. Camo Liquid Blushes. If you are kind of getting into liquid blush, if you're intimidated by it, if you don't want to spend a lot of money on a high-end one, try this formula. It does not disappoint. It is so easy to work with. I'm kind of picky when it comes to liquid blush because I feel like a lot of liquid cheek products end up removing all of my foundation underneath. And then my makeup looks patchy and uneven and it doesn't look good, or the liquid blush will end up fading throughout the day. These are perfect because they blend out so easily, they lay on top of foundation so perfectly, and they last all day as well. They really are very effortless to work with, and I honestly don't really have anything bad to say about them. My favorite shade, the one that I wear the most, is probably Peach Perfect, which is just like this light, soft shade, but I also really like the shade Suave Mauve. I think it's really flattering if I want a little bit more color on the cheeks, and it does kind of strike me as like a winter shade. So many liquid blushes have like a dewiness to them or kind of like a tackiness. They look a little bit glossy on the cheeks, which is really nice if that's the look you're going for. But I think for people with oily skin or people who don't want like that overly glowy, dewy look, it can be hard to find a good liquid blush formula that, you know, doesn't look like that on the skin. And these look very similar to Rare Beauty. The Rare Beauty ones do have like a little bit of a natural glow to them, but they're not like full on dewy. And that's the reason why I really enjoy these. So I highly recommend them if you've been thinking about trying them. Very rich and pigmented, a little bit goes a long way. And I definitely think they are worth it. I've also really been loving this launch from e.l.f. It is their Lash Extender Tubing Mascara. Again, really affordable. I think e.l.f. has just stepped it up when it comes to their mascaras. I remember a few years ago, I purchased every mascara they had, and only one of them ended up working out for me. I think they had like 6 or 7 at the time. Since then, they've really redone their mascara line. They have a Big Mood, they have the Lash and Roll, they have this one, and this one is a really good option if you do like a tubing mascara and you like a drier formula. It is so different than the Milani highly rated Lash Extensions Mascara, which is weirdly enough my other favorite tubing mascara. The formulas are exact opposites. The Milani one is super wet and it does build, but it almost builds a little bit too quickly to the point where it ends up looking super clumpy. This one is very, very dry and it doesn't really build that well, but I don't think you need to build it up because it does end up looking really dramatic and it lengthens your lashes very quickly with just like one coat. If you do want to go in with a second coat, I recommend going in like right after you apply the first one because this dries so quickly. And honestly, I've come to appreciate that because if I'm in a hurry and I don't have time to like sit there and build up my mascara or wait for it to dry, this is perfect because you just swipe it on and you're good to go. And it does stay in place really well throughout the day. I wouldn't say this gives my lashes a ton of volume, but I feel like it makes them look thick enough. It really just kind of shines in the lengthening department. So if you're looking for a good drugstore tubing mascara, this is an amazing option. You just have to keep in mind that it does dry fast and you have to work quickly. A new drugstore makeup launch that did not work for me is the Duck Plump lip gloss from NYX. I was really convinced I was going to like this. I actually bought 3 shades, which normally when it comes to a new product launch, I don't buy a ton of shades until I know it's something that I absolutely love. But based on like the photos and the description, I was like, I'm going to love that. The colors are beautiful. And honestly, this looks good on the lips. It has a good amount of pigment. It's super shiny, really glossy, very smoothing. I love everything about this except for the fact that it burns the lips. And it's not like your typical tingling, burning sensation associated with plumping lip glosses. They actually infused this one with ginger. And when I apply it, it feels like I bit into a hot pepper and then I can feel it on my lips, my tongue, and the fact that it is cold outside, I feel like my lips as a whole are kind of dry anyway. So I don't know if that's why it feels so intense, but it's really uncomfortable. It's not to the point where I'm like, I have to get that off my lips immediately, but it's definitely not like a pleasant experience. I think part of me is just kind of over really extremely intense plumping glosses. Like I don't love the tingling feeling associated with them. And I know some people actually like it. Like I've gotten comments from you guys saying like I love that feeling. That is not me. I kind of like the feel the Buxom plumping glosses give, like that cooler tingle rather than like a hot tingle like the Fenty Gloss Bomb Heats or the Too Faced lip injections or this one. To me, this one is more intense than the Too Faced lip injections, but it doesn't actually plump up the lips. Like when you use the Too Faced product, you can see a big difference. When I use this one, my lips don't look any bigger than they normally do. The gloss is really pretty though, so if that's not something that bothers you, maybe you'll like this. I just feel like that ginger is just, it's so unpleasant that I won't be using these, unfortunately. I also purchased this setting spray from NYX. So normally I'm not a big setting spray person unless it is like July and it's hot and humid outside and I'm going to be outside all day with makeup on. But I feel like I've kind of changed my mind on setting spray and I have been wearing it a lot more regularly, especially during the winter time because I do tend to wear very moisturizing makeup products or a lot of creams, a lot of liquids, and I don't always want to wear a ton of powder. So I feel like I can get away with not wearing powder if I'm using a setting spray, or I guess not as much powder, just like a light setting powder instead of locking all of my makeup into place with a lot of powder. Anyway, I decided to try this one from NYX, the Marshmallow Setting Spray. This is intensely sweet smelling. It smells like you're spraying cotton candy on your face, which honestly, it's not a bad scent. It's just not ideal for me when it comes to a setting spray because it is so over the top. I feel like they could have toned the fragrance down by like 90% and it would have given you like a light scent without being so much. Also, when you spray this on the face, like it just kind of comes out fast and it doesn't look like that when I spray it in the air. When you're spraying it on your face, like it just drenches your face. I feel like I could maybe overlook that as well, except for the fact that this setting spray doesn't do anything to extend the wear of my makeup. Like when I sprayed this on the first time, I checked my makeup after 2 hours and it was just breaking down. And it was like a lot of my go-to products that usually do stay in place really well. And that day I even set my makeup with powder, like a little bit more than normal. So I just feel like it doesn't do anything for me. In fact, it actually makes my makeup wear off more quickly. So I don't recommend trying this out unless, you really love the idea of like a super sweet setting spray. But even still, I don't think it's going to do anything to lock your makeup in place. They have a matte setting spray that comes in like a very similar packaging, but black, that actually works a lot better than this one. So I would say skip over this one and go with that one. I actually started using this product back in December. It's the LYS Natural Finish Skin Loyalty Setting Spray. I recommend buying this one instead. It's a little bit more expensive than NYX. I think you actually get more product in here. So this one comes with 3.3 fluid ounces. NYX comes with 2 ounces. I'll do the math, like price per ounce, and put it on the screen for you, just so you can see what the difference is, because it might end up being kind of close since LYS is not a super expensive brand as Sephora. And truthfully, this is the best setting spray I have ever tried. I've used up quite a bit of it. It has the finest, most gentle mist in the entire world. Like, it's just perfect. It evenly coats your face so nicely. You don't need a lot of it. And the reason why I like this is because it does extend the wear of my makeup, but it's not like such an intense setting spray. Like sometimes when I'm spraying the Urban Decay All Nighter on my face, I know it's going to lock my makeup into place, but it just feels like I'm spraying something really intense on my face. I don't know how to explain it because it's a setting spray, so it's not like a heavy product, but it just changes the way my makeup looks and feels throughout the day. And that is perfect if I don't want my makeup to move for like 12 hours. This one is not quite as heavy duty, but I feel like it's really great for everyday wear because it is so light and gentle. But when I spray this, I know my makeup is going to last longer. Like I would say if I'm applying makeup in the morning at 9 a.m. and I go to wash my face by like 7 p.m., it still looks really, really good. It might look a little bit more oily than it would if I was using like the Urban Decay All Nighter. So not quite as heavy duty as that one, but it still works to keep things in place while feeling a little bit more natural on the skin. Actually, while we're on the topic of long-lasting makeup, I have to say I've been using this primer again lately and I forgot how well it works. It's the e.l.f. Power Grip with Niacinamide. So I was filming all of my end of the year wrap-up videos and I mentioned this as one of my top products of 2023. I think it might have come out like December of 2022, but it was like the very, very end. So it was basically a new launch for the new year. And at this point, I've been using it for a full year, but there was a good like couple of months where I wasn't using it regularly because I was really using the e.l.f. Liquid Poreless Putty Primer like every single time I was doing my makeup. So anyway, I started using this again regularly and I love it. It looks so good on the skin. First of all, it makes your skin look so glowy, incredibly hydrated, and no matter what foundation you wear on top, it really just makes that foundation look super glowy as well. And if you have any kind of oily skin or combo skin, usually when you do start things off with like a very glowy or illuminated base, your makeup is going to break down a lot more quickly. That just doesn't happen with this one. Like you get the glow, but you also get the sticky or tacky feel that comes with the Power Grip Primer. So it actually holds your foundation in place all day long while still giving you that glow all day long. I love it. I completely forgot how much I loved it. Like I knew I loved it in the back of my mind, but because I was on such a Liquid Poreless Putty Primer kick, I wasn't using this one as often. And I feel like now during the winter time when my skin is feeling a little bit dry and looking a little bit dull and I could just use like that extra added boost, this has been absolutely perfect. So I've really been enjoying this again lately. Okay, another kind of rediscovered favorite is this powder from Charlotte Tilbury. I don't want to like this because it is so expensive. In fact, I just added the refill to my cart on Sephora's website because now they do sell like a pan that you can just pop in, which is nice because it does save a little bit of money. Obviously, there's like less waste because you're not purchasing a new compact every single time. But even the refill was like almost $40, if not $40. And that is just so much money to spend on a powder. But there's something about this formula that I love. Years ago, this was my favorite powder for setting my under eye concealer. And then I discovered the Flower Beauty Light Illusion, which I do think is a really good alternative. And I still think that. But there's something about this powder that just locks my makeup into place so well while also smoothing out my skin. So this has actually lasted me a little bit longer because the only place I use it is under the eyes and then between the brows and then kind of in my T-zone to set anywhere where I apply concealer. And then I'll just use like a loose setting powder for the rest of my face. So because of that, I feel like I'm not flying through this powder quite as quickly, but it just almost like mattifies and smooths over areas that I typically deal with like a lot of creasing or where my makeup tends to break down faster. So I can't help it. I really do love it. I've been using it so much, and I am going to purchase the refill. So I feel like that is a sign that I really do enjoy it. The last makeup product I wanted to share with you before I share a skincare favorite and then a hair care fail is this one from Covergirl. It is the Outlast, what is it called? Outlast Lipstain. I wanted to like this because I like the idea of it coming in this like pen shaped form. I thought it would be easy to apply, and I kind of liked that it wasn't a glossy lip stain. So many lip stains these days are super glossy, which I do like, but I liked the idea of just having like a regular lip stain and then being able to apply a lip balm on top or my own gloss. This just looks so patchy when I apply it to my lips. It looks really uneven, and if I eventually can get to the point where I feel like it's wearable, I mean, that only happens after like going over my lips like 5 or 6 different times. Even then, it doesn't stay in place very well. It starts to wear off really quickly, especially in the center of my lips, and then it starts to look really patchy after just a few hours. On top of that, this really dries my lips out. Like they are uncomfortably dry, so it's not something I would wear on its own. Like I always have to apply a lip balm or a lip gloss on top. So I'm sad about this. I just thought it sounded nice, and they have a ton of colors on Amazon. On Ulta's website, they don't have as many, but I don't know if they were doing like some sort of exclusive partnership with Amazon because they had like twice as many available on Amazon. And that would have been so nice if it was a product I loved because it comes in all different shades, like berries and reds and nudes. But I just don't think the formula is really good. It's not comfortable or long wearing. It was just a fail. What's your favorite lip stain formula, especially if it's not a glossy lip stain? Because I do like the Fenty one. I like the e.l.f. ones. The new Milani one is great, but I'm just looking for like a regular lip stain that doesn't have like any sort of glossy finish. Okay, so back in December, I picked up the SkinFix Barrier Plus Triple Lipid Peptide Cream, and I love this formula so much. It reminds me of the Drunk Elephant Polypeptide Cream, kind of, but I think it's better. I used to use that product exclusively. Like that was my go-to moisturizer, and they both have like a very soothing, very soft effect on the skin, but this one feels a little bit more gentle. I've been a big fan of SkinFix products over like the last year because I do have eczema. My skin is like so easily irritated. It's very red, and I feel like a lot of SkinFix products have like a very calming feel to them. I picked this up because we were heading into the winter season, and I just needed like a little bit more of a thick, rich moisturizer, but I liked the idea of this one because when I was reading the description online, it didn't sound like it was too over the top. So it has active lipids, peptides, hyaluronic acid, and rich shea butter. It's supposed to brighten, firm, and plump. I don't know that it really firms my skin or plumps my skin. Like it's not, I'm trying to think of a very plumping moisturizer. Like, oh, the Glow Recipe Plump. Like that one actually makes my skin look really plump. It has like a glowy effect. This one doesn't leave my skin feeling glowy, which I actually like. Like it definitely has a very soft, natural finish to it. It feels really smoothing, and my skin is very moisturized. Like I haven't been dealing with a lot of dryness throughout the winter on my face because of this product. So it really is very effective, very gentle. Like anytime my skin has been a little bit irritated or red or like something just caused it to freak out because my skin has been breaking out, this has like a very calming effect to it. So I do recommend trying this if you're looking for a good heavy duty moisturizer that's not over the top. I do have a hair care fail. So I wanted to mention these back in December, but I didn't do my December favorites and fails. So I've been hanging on to them since then. These are from Ava NYC. They are the Lift Off Volume Conditioner and Shampoo. I purchased these because I was out of the Main Magic formula and I went into an actual Ulta store to purchase the formula and they didn't have it. So I thought I would try this out because it is supposed to volumize, thicken, and moisturize. Weirdly enough, I don't think that these formulas do any of that. Like they definitely do not moisturize my hair. They really dried my hair out. They left my hair feeling so tangly and just like very brittle after using them. I did use them a few times. I also didn't notice that my hair had any extra volume. It didn't look any thicker. It definitely didn't weigh my hair down, but it really dried it out. So I personally don't recommend trying these out. This is like the first fail I think this is the first fail I've had from Eva NYC. I really like pretty much all of their products, but these unfortunately did not work for me. I would just recommend sticking with the Main Magic formula. That is an intensely nourishing, moisturizing, smoothing formula. You get the point. Like if I'm dealing with any sort of frizziness, like that just cuts down on the frizz immediately. So I do really like that formula. I need to go back to it. Right now I'm using something else. I'm using a couple of different formulas because I bought a lot of shampoo and conditioner on or during Black Friday, and I kind of had some on hand already. So I'm not really planning on buying any shampoo and conditioner for like the first 6 months of 2024. So at some point I'll get back to using those, but I don't recommend the Lift Off formula from Eva NYC unless you've had a better experience with it. I'm definitely curious to know because I know products can work differently for everyone depending on what you're typically going for or what your skin and hair are like, but for me, they were just a big fail. Okay, so we are at the end of the video. That's everything that I loved and hated throughout the month of January, and then also December, I guess, as well. But thank you so much for being here. Thanks for hanging out with me. I really do appreciate it. I would love to know if there's anything you discovered during January that you fell in love with, whether it was a new launch or even like an older favorite that you rediscovered too. Thanks for being here. I will see you very soon with a new one. Bye.